you say? But again, we're scattered individuals. Everything's against us. Governments, money, press, television, all the new forces are used against us. All the great forces, all the material powers of the world, you say are against us. And so they are. You're quite right to feel that. And I don't underrate them, but I don't despair. And you shouldn't despair, because you, like I, have read something of history. You know something of the record and the achievement of the European. And dark as this hour is, it's no darker, it's not as dark as some of the hours you've known in European history. I reigned when everything was cowardice, treachery, and betrayal. And when the Saracen hordes from far outside Europe swept right across that continent and would have come on over our own Britain too if they hadn't been stopped. And it didn't only happen once, it's happened more than once. Small bands of men came together in resolution, in absolute determination, giving themselves completely and saying Europe shall live, and stood firm and faced the menace to Europe, its values, its civilizations, the glory of its achievement, all those things in mortal danger. And they stood firm, they faced it, they came together, and more rallied to their standards, and those hordes were thrown back again and again and again. And Europe lived in triumph because the will of Europe still endured, of course. And it can happen again. We've got other forces against us. Not those particular forces, but the power of money, the power of press in some hands. All those material forces which governments wield today, far more forces of corruption and oppression than have ever been in the hands of government at all, despite all their talk of democracy and of freedom, as we well know well, in our daily political struggle. All those things are against us. But if we can bring together with us enough of people like ourselves, not only in Britain, but as we are doing in other countries of Europe, and gradually that force mounts and gathers strength, my friends, today, just as much as in the past, we can meet the dark forces which in another way threaten our European life with eternal night. We can rally those forces, and in the end, we can prevail and we can triumph. It's been done before, and it can be done again. Our task is to do what we are doing, and we began at Venice nearly some 20 months ago as I speak tonight, to bring together the best as we saw them, the Europeans, to get them to take decisions together, to decide on the policy which I have described tonight, that they would act and do these things together. First great step, after that the usual trouble, the difficulty, the struggle to move forward. Always in human affairs the same story, but willpower, endurance, and above all faith and belief overcomes all. Nothing matters so much as awakening our own people. Hard as I labor in other lands with other friends and comrades of ours into this immense concern which is going to be Europe and is going to save mankind. My friends, it's an immense responsibility. You're living in a historic hour. Do remember that always. Live in that sense, I beg of you, of history and of destiny. When this period comes to be written and men look back at it, if we did right, if we stood firm, if we stood greatly, it will be a matter of honor and of veneration for generations to come. I could not ask to live at any other moment of history than this, because never has mankind, never has the human species been confronted with such possibilities, with such choices of disaster or of greater heights and greater glories. My friends, do live in that sense that you are Englishmen, that you are Europeans, that you come from people who face tremendous odds again and again, that much is against you, but you've got within you that will, that spirit, above all, that faith and that belief, which will lead the generations to come to look back at you in the pages of history with the proud words, to England, to Britain, to